Breaking news, we just got this into our email. We are told that a member of Governor Ned Lamont's staff has tested positive for the coronavirus, and the governor is going to immediately begin the process of self-quarantining.
Yeah, the governor's chief of staff, Paul Mounds, sending out this announcement just a few moments ago, saying that this is the first known positive case of coronavirus within the office of the governor. The governor will be self-quarantining, as will the governor's senior staff, including Paul Mounds, his chief of staff, and also chief operating officer Josh Jabal. In the note, it says it's just a stark reminder of the increasing number of positive cases as this virus still isn't going anywhere here in Connecticut.
Yeah, they say contact tracing is underway. All members of the Lamont administration who have been in close contact, they're saying within 6 feet for 15 minutes or more per CDC guidelines with the senior staff member who did test positive, will self-quarantine for 14 days. Again, Governor Ned Lamont in quarantine, starting that process along with multiple staff members, including in his senior staff, Paul Mounds, as well as his chief operating officer, Josh Jabal.
Obviously, big news from the governor tonight. We'll have more on that on the Fox 61 Morning News tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how he continues to keep the state updated while he himself is in self-quarantine.